Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dagmari Babi podcast. I'm your host, Dagmari, and today we have the amazing Emre on our show. Today, this is going to be a really exciting and really fun conversation. We're going to learn a lot, discover a lot, and just enjoy the entire conversation. So, welcome to the show, Emre.
Thank you.
We're going to start off with a simple introduction. Tell us about everything about you, just a glimpse of it.
My name is Emre Varol. I am the founder and CEO of A2SV. And prior to starting A2SV, I did software and machine learning engineer in Bay Area, in Silicon Valley, at Google, Palantir, and Liftoff for about 8 years. And since 2019, I have been passing the know-how I have accumulated to young fellow Africans who have the potential and who can do great life-changing technologies for the benefit of people and businesses in this continent. And in the beginning, I thought of this as one-time volunteering activity, 3 to 6 months, but it has turned into a life journey for me, and I am pleased to be here.
Awesome. That's a wonderful introduction. Let's take it way back and let's talk about your childhood. Tell me, what kind of child were you? Were you creative? Were you one of those kids who break things apart and try to see them? What kind of child?
I mean, I was a curious person, but at the same time, I wasn't breaking things. So my parents were quite happy that I wasn't breaking things. In my childhood, we moved from one city to another because my dad, he worked for the Turkish army and he was in the ground forces. So pretty much everywhere you have ground forces. Therefore, staying in the same city for 3 years, it happened only once in my lifetime. So I get used to saying hi to new friends and bye to the old ones, starting from my childhood. And I think this definitely had a big impact in my personality.
Huh, okay. Interesting. Were you born in Turkey?
Yes, I was born in Ankara. And then I've seen different cities, since, as I said, he was working in different parts of the country. Sometimes he was in the east, sometimes he was in the west, sometimes he was in the center. So that helped me to see the diversity in the country first. At an early age, I have realized that there are more than one ways of doing things in the right way.
That's very interesting. Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have one younger brother. Indeed, he also studied software engineering at Bilkent University. And he decided to stay in Turkey. He's doing pretty well at Kızılay, which is Red Crescent. It's like Red Cross. He loves helping others as well.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, let's talk about how you discovered programming. Were you young when you actually discovered programming?
Yes. So first time I've seen programming was through my uncle. So my uncle studied mechanical engineering at METU. It's also one of the top universities in the country. And he had personal interest in programming. And this was happening back in 1995, 96. Many of you guys didn't exist. I was 5, 6-year-old. And I was truly amazed that he was doing some stuff on the computer and computer was getting things done on behalf of him. So it wasn't like only, oh, I love playing games, I want to make games situation. But I was really genuinely in love with saying something to the machine and letting machine does something on your behalf from an early age. But I didn't start programming at that time. So I was saying I want to become a pilot or a software engineer. And software engineering was coming thanks to my uncle. And pilot was coming thanks to my dad. He's in the ground forces, but air forces, they are cool, So I like flying as well. And in that regard, I was saying either software engineering on being pilot. But when I started programming, I made the deliberate choice for the high school. So I attended a science high school, which was the most successful one in the country for the science Olympiads. And I've chosen informatics, which is computers. And I've learned programming at a very early age, relatively speaking, at age 13.
What was the first programming language?
C.
Whew.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Still my favorite.
It really is. Okay. So your uncle basically influenced you into getting into programming.
Yes. I mean, later he has become the CTO of the largest enterprise software company in Turkey. So he was a big inspiration.
That's huge. What was it about programming that you actually liked? What drew you in?
Well, I love math, but I am not enjoying geometry as much as I enjoy algebra. So at first, programming was described to me as, hey, this is math without geometry. And I fall in love with the description. In time, of course, I have realized it's definitely a lot more than that. But like being able to tell things in a systematic manner to the machines and utilizing their computation power to make things better for other people, this is something I really like.
Talk to me about your education journey. Where did you learn? Did you go to university or college? Talk to me about that.
Mm-hmm. Like I was very lucky because my parents really understood the importance of high quality education. Even if my dad's job didn't make it easy because we traveled from one state to another, and this may not be the most ideal when it comes to education, they really fought hard to choose the best schools, find the best teachers. So in that regard, I was very privileged. Even if my parents were not rich, they were able to put me in classes where there is a very experienced teacher who is passionate about training next generations. So I had the privilege of working with or getting taught by very smart teachers. So in the primary school, like first half was in Mush Malazgirt. Relatively speaking, it's in the east and not as developed. So half of the class didn't know how to speak Turkish. And the teacher was dividing the class into two, teaching how to speak Turkish to the ones who don't know, and the other group how to read, write. And in the second half of the first year, we moved to Ankara because my brother got sick and they couldn't figure out how to handle it in that city. So we get to the capital, which is our hometown. And like it was a huge change because in the second semester, the moment I joined the class, they have been way ahead of what we were doing in the, let's say, east side of the country. So I would say that was a life-changing moment for me. And I quickly caught up, and that teacher actually suggested me to skip second grade. And I took a test, and my dad got another move. And then we went to a city called Konya. And then they gave me another test there, and I continued from the third grade. So I was younger than my peers throughout the journey. And the high school, as I mentioned, I went to a science high school where we had great teachers, and we also had the system of learning from the previous terms. So what we are doing at A2SV, utilizing the best of the previous generation to educate the next generation, this wasn't something that I came up with, but this was a system that I have been part of, that I've been educated with. And I've seen the value in that firsthand at that time. That has changed my career trajectory because I was very proficient at algorithms, data structures, problem solving at the end of high school. So during the university, I was mostly teaching my peers. Like we were getting the lectures together, and then I was teaching them what the teacher was telling us. So it was fun. Like I had a great time in university as well. I was at Bilkent University, one of the top in the country, if not the best. And after that, I really loved research. So my original plan was staying in the academy. But when I have seen that there are many politics you need to deal with in the academy, so that was a huge push for me out of school. And I decided to join the industry. And then I took my first job at Palantir. So like the learning also continues. As you know, when you start working in industry, if you are surrounding yourself with great people, you continue, let's say, reaching to the new highest highs for your career. So I would say throughout all my career, thanks God, I was very lucky to work with quite smart people.
Awesome. That was wonderful. All right, we'll get to the career part of your life, and let's just talk about you first of all. And talk to me. What do you do on your spare time? Do you have any hobbies?
Oh, definitely. So first off, I love football.
Really?
Yes.
Do you play football?
I do play football, but unfortunately, currently, I have a torn ACL on my left knee. I have to get a surgery. I said I'm not going to get it until A2SV gets funding. I wasn't expecting that this was going to take this long. Like I had the injury in December 2023 while playing football. And it was a very lame injury, man. I'll be frank. So in Palo Alto Adult Soccer League, to catch up my rhythm, I decided to get some extra games, and I've played in the B League. And one guy in my team, in a throw-in in the middle field, like the center of the field, he just made a move, and then his knee actually had a big push on my knee. Frankly speaking, I wasn't expecting it to be this bad, but when I get the MRI, it was confirmed that the ACL was completely torn. Yeah, so it wasn't the best moment of my life, and it's a lame injury story. I want to say, hey, I scored a winner, and then
Well, we can edit that out. It's fine. All right, all right. What about other than sports?
Well, I love music as well. So I love playing guitar. I'm not a professional player, obviously. I love singing, but people may not enjoy listening me as much.
When you play the guitar, do you play Turkish tunes?
Sometimes Turkish tunes, sometimes English tunes. Like there are many great songs out there.
That's awesome.
So it really
I play a little
depends.
bit of the guitar. That's why I'm like,
Man, we should play sometime together.
we should jam together. Let's talk about, I guess, faith and beliefs and all sorts of stuff. I think it's very important for people to have some kind of worldview. And talk to me about that. Do you have any religions? What's your belief about the world and all sorts of stuff?
So I was raised Muslim, obviously, since I'm from Turkey, like the 97% of the society. And in the earlier ages of my life, I didn't know that there are multiple paths that are going to God. So I'm a huge believer of a fair God. And I don't subscribe to the exclusiveness of the religions. I believe this is because they didn't know about each other well enough. That's why pretty much all the religions are exclusive clubs, saying that we are the only good people and the remaining N-1 groups are going to hell. So I don't believe in that part. I believe there are multiple paths that are going to God. And I respect like all the religions, and I believe all the religions. Like when I go to Moscow, obviously I pray. When I go to church, I pray. I haven't seen any synagogues here, but if there was one, I would go and pray there too.
So you actually go to like a Christian church?
Yes, like on Saturdays, we have a run to top of Antoto, and there is a beautiful church. So every Saturday, if we have the run, we also have the praying session.
Wow, that's beautiful. I've actually never met anyone who does that. That's interesting. Okay, wasn't it difficult, I guess, back when you were in San Francisco, to keep faith and everything?
I would say so, because especially like in the Bay Area, there are so many people, I believe, don't think too much about these things. Like there are so many atheist people, and I believe atheist people also have a faith. They have a faith in non-existence of God. So this is also a very strong argument, if you ask me. And it's a belief. So I don't judge anybody for their beliefs. And I don't want to be judged by people for my belief as well. But I would say yes, because you see people from many different backgrounds. And since majority of the people are atheists, like saying that, hey, I have faith, I think that this requires balls. And I didn't have those balls by the time when I was in Bay Area.
Thank you for that. All right. Are you married? Do you have kids?
I'm not married. I don't have kids to my knowledge, but I have a girlfriend. So I have a girlfriend. She's from Ghana. Her name is Mariam. She's a lovely lady. I think many Ethiopians know her.
This is really sweet. I think I've seen you guys in AASTU.
Probably, yeah.
Well, that's beautiful. I think it's really lovely. All right. Let's go to your career. What was the first job you had?
My first job was Palantir, yes.
How did you also get to it?
Well, like when I decided to move away from the academy, I decided to have interviews with top tech companies. And those were the years that Turkish competitive programmers start getting jobs at big tech. So I had seen examples who were doing that. Hey, if he did it, I can make it, I think that has also happened to many A2SVians. Like the mindset change requires examples. And when I have noticed these great people are taking those great jobs, I wanted to do the same. So in the first round, I had interviews with 3 companies, Google, Facebook, and Palantir. I got rejected by Google. I got offers from Palantir and Facebook. I chose Palantir for 2 reasons. Number 1, they asked the hardest questions. So it was a pretty hot company by then. I think still it is pretty hot. And number 2, there was a guy, his name is Kevin Simler. So he spent personal time with me. I really enjoyed my conversation. He really wanted me to join the company. Like he sat with me while I was waiting for the interview with the founder. And like that interaction actually made a huge impact on my decision.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. After Palantir, where did you go to? And why did you leave them?
Next up was Google, because I wanted to do more research. So I was doing backend engineering at Palantir, and which is great. But I love research. I love working on things that not so many people work, In that regard, that was the big appeal to me. And at almost every stage of my career, I was quite clear to the recruiters and people that I was interacting with in terms of what kind of opportunity I am looking for. So I had the background in information retrieval and natural language processing, but I wanted to do machine learning. And I've expressed this. And at Google, they've matched me with a team that uses machine learning to solve NLP problems. So that was my first exposure to machine learning. And that's how I made that switch to Google.
Okay. Did you like it there? Did you have fun?
Oh, 100%. Like I would say the first 1.5 years at Google, it was really great. And after that, I didn't get a promotion that I believe I have truly deserved. And my manager actually agreed. She even appealed the decision, but they didn't give me the promotion. And this was a huge disappointment for me. Like with more experience in retrospective, this was a big mistake from my end, because for about 6 months, I didn't do much in terms of software engineering. I ate the food, I went to the gym, I played football, but I didn't actually challenge myself in terms of my technical skills. So that 6 months, I could have used it better in retrospective. But then I wanted to do something that is smaller, because Google is, like, when you look at the scale from 0 to 100,000, pretty close to 100,000. So you don't get exposure to 0 to 1. And I always had it in myself to start something after getting some experience. So I thought it would be great to get experience in a company that is closer to 0 to 1. And that's why I chose to join Liftoff after Google.
Okay. You were a machine learning engineer in Liftoff.
Yes. Indeed, it was also another interesting story, because I wanted to get my hands dirty with machine learning at Google. However, that didn't happen because number one, for Google, user trust is super important. They already have a proven business model. The company is printing money. So even to have access to a data set, which is publicly available almost, we were working on the ad snippets. Like when you send a query to Google, if your query is relevant to some ads, you are going to see some sponsored results, right? So it is already publicly available. But even to get access to that data, we waited more than 3 months. So I wasn't super happy with this, let's say, low-pace environment. Even if I was working with quite smart people, I was really thinking that things can move faster. And so we were using machine learning as a black box, although the team was research team, we were doing cutting edge stuff. We weren't getting our hands dirty with machine learning. And when I was joining Liftoff, that was the biggest motivation for me, because what I have seen at Liftoff, like they had a very small and quite talented team. So the Liftoff service were managing as much traffic as Twitter servers, with maybe 100 of engineers Twitter has.
Okay.
Indeed, when Elon Musk took charge at Twitter and fired a bunch of people, this wasn't surprising to me, because that was the bad example we were giving to people while we were trying to convince people to join Liftoff.
That's pretty interesting. So I think after Liftoff, you just jumped right into A2SV, I'm assuming.
Yes. So I got my green card at Liftoff, and I decided to do something great for humanity.
Would you say your brother influenced you in that side?
I wouldn't say so. Why?
Because you told me that he really likes volunteering and helping people, and maybe...
Oh, he actually joined Red Crescent after I started A2SV.
Oh, okay.
He has a beautiful heart, by the way. I mean, he wasn't an inspiration for this just because it was kind of orthogonal. Otherwise, he could have been. I mean, he's an amazing guy with a beautiful heart.
All right. So talk to me about the origins of A2SV, I guess.
Yes. So the first thing, when I have realized that I've dedicated my master thesis to vulnerable children of Africa in Bay Area, I told to myself, Emre, actions speak louder than words. So you need to do something about Africa. That's how I get the idea of, okay, Emre, you're going to do something in Africa.
Why specifically Africa?
Because I dedicated the master thesis to African children back when I was like 20, 21, while I was writing my master thesis.
Okay, you didn't think of maybe Turkey or other countries?
Well, like what was happening at that time was that pretty much everybody dedicates their master thesis to their parents, their loved ones, if they are married, their wife, etc. To me, it felt a little bit too shallow. So I wanted to dedicate it to something higher level. And I don't know, maybe I've seen a documentary about African children at that time. Frankly speaking, it's, too behind in the history that I don't know the full chain of thought. Okay. But I remember that I wanted to choose something higher level. And without knowing that was going to bring me to Africa. And then when I get the green card at liftoff, I'm like, okay, I will go to Africa. So what should I do? I should talk to Africans. And by then there was only one African person I knew, Jordanos. She's from Ethiopia. So I told Jordanos, hey, Jordanos, I want to go to Africa.
Are you guys related or just friends?
We just started working at liftoff on the same day. So we knew each other through work. She's a great person. She's also one of our board members, part of our journey. And in that regard, when I told her about my criteria, I wanted to come to a country with high population so that the sampling pool is going to be great. English speaking, I don't speak French. And as you know, in most of Africa, these two languages rule. Interesting culture. Because especially I knew that there is a lot little we have in terms of material in Africa, but per unit material, we have the most happiness. So I wanted to understand that mindset, how African people are very happy, but we have maybe 10x, 100x more in Bay Area, but we are feeling dissatisfied. So I wanted to see that mindset. And lastly, obviously, safety. I wish all Africa was safe, but that's not the case. And this was back in 2019. Our prime minister was about to get Nobel Peace Prize, so everything seemed legit on the paper.
That's awesome. All right, so you talked to her and you just, went for Ethiopia because it fit every criteria you had.
Exactly. Then I read some posts on Quora. I sent some emails to some expats as well as university professors. Nobody got back to me. By then, there was an Ethiopian embassy or a branch in LA. So I drove down there. I get my visa. I got my flights, Turkish Airlines. Okay. I made the hotel reservation in Chechnya.
Here.
What Chechnya is, yes. I mean, it was central, close to border.
Who recommended that?
And my first experience was hilarious, man. So imagine, I came to Ethiopia. I landed around midnight. It was a Saturday night. And I get the cab. So it's taking me to the hotel. And I'm passing the streets of Chechnya. All these places, music, lights, pigeons.
Yeah. All right. Then I guess keep talking about that. What happened afterwards?
So for 3 days, I didn't do much because I was sick. I was recovering. I don't know whether it's because of the yellow fever vaccine or something else was happening, but I've already pushed the flight. And with Turkish Airlines, unfortunately, you have to pay when you reschedule. And I didn't want to reschedule it again. So I got the flight sick. And then I recovered. After that, I started doing some discovery. And on Thursday, I found out that Addis Ababa University is one of the best in the country, if not the best. And then I put the address on Google Maps. It took about 50 minutes to walk from Marsanadis Hotel to Amaskilo. And by then, the Google Maps was not working really well. So it took me to the backside of the campus. So there was a huge wall that it took about 30 minutes to pass. So I had to go back to Sadiskilo, come back, enter from the academic entrance. And I asked them, where is the software engineering head room? They took me there. And then I met Natnael Argaf. And there was also Abrhot Nati there. I met both of the guys in the same day. And I told them about my background, what I can do. And they said, Emre, why don't you start an informal course and start training our brilliant students? That's how the story of A2SV started.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. I guess I have a few questions about that. How did they, agree with you super quick?
Well, I worked at Palantir, Google, liftoff.
Yeah.
So in my career, I made high six-figure salaries. I don't think you have so many people like me coming to Ethiopia and offering help.
I agree. I'm just curious because why wouldn't they ask you to be a teacher or something like that?
I mean, they did. I have become a guest lecturer. I've also given digital logic design course.
Wow. Okay. I thought you just started your own thing. That's why.
I have done that, but I've also given the normal course too. Like I was like, hey, how can I help? They are like, hey, there's DLD, people are not super happy with the teacher. Would you like to take over? I'm like, sure. Awesome. And also the second thing, I can prepare these people for the interviews with big tech. Oh yeah, please do that. They said, and that's how things get started.
Awesome. Did you tell your family that you moved to Africa?
I mean, I didn't know that I moved to Africa at that time. So this was a one-time thing, 3 to 6 months I was going to stay here and then go back to Bay Area to start a company with people that I knew, yeah.
So A2SV started, and tell me about the early days. How did the bureaucracy go, the first few students and everything like that?
Well, with the students, we didn't have any trouble because they were very curious about learning what I was teaching. And we were integrating pretty much all the practices I have seen throughout my life. Some from the Bay Area, some from the earlier times of competitive programming, and everybody was having fun. And with the bureaucracy here, well, I would say in the earlier days, we had some troubles. So whenever our students, after a miscommunication, forgot to lock the doors of the lab, the security guards put an Amharic notice and closed the lab. And then we had a Turkish member. He was a former basketball player, Suha. So he went to the lab. He didn't notice that. He opened the door. So after that, they cut our access to the labs for about 2 weeks. So we had to buy power multipliers and use the regular classes. I don't know, maybe you may know those seats, like you have a hand support, but it's definitely not comfortable for using computers. And like we were just doing our best given circumstances. And the infrastructure was pretty horrible. On WhatsApp, when you send an image to another person, it was taking a few days. I still don't know why it was taking so much time. It is harder to do it that way. Like transferring it instantly is easier. I think that was one of the reasons why people were using Telegram in Ethiopia, but not WhatsApp. And like trying to have a video call in the evening hours was impossible. Like when there is congestion. Back in 2019, many things were different. Like we didn't have Abrhot, we didn't have Commercial Bank of Ethiopia building. Like the whole, I would say, outlook of the city was very different.
Yeah, I would agree. Okay, so as anything good starts, there are some difficult things that happened. And what were the good things that happened at the early days? What was something surprising that really happened?
Well, the great things that happened in the early days, like first off, in our program, in the earlier times, we didn't put the attendance limit to people. Everybody was coming because they were seeing the value in the program. And what else? So Jeff Dean was kind enough to accept our interview request. So he is pretty high level at Google. He is level 11 on a scale from 1 to 10. Like they, to distinguish his contributions, gave him a different title and a few more people. And like he connected our people, like he connected me with the director of internships. And she helped us setting up interviews for these 22 young, brilliant engineers, emerging engineers from Ethiopia. And 6 of them passed the interviews. So the first education season of A2SV was, we started on November 15th. And we get the interviews in the last days of February. So think about it. December, January, February, and half of November. 3.5 months. And except 3 weeks boot camp, the rest is after school studies. The school is already going on. People are delivering projects, attending lessons. What we do is after school studies. I think that has shown that there is such kind of a potential sitting here. We have raw talent. But that talent is not going to turn into great actions and change in the world if we don't do anything about that. Interesting.
I guess on the early days, where was the funding coming from?
My pocket. So I made a little over $1 million in Bay Area. So I was paying from my pocket for the first 3 seasons, actually. Like we got the funding from Google in, I want to say 2023. Or 2022. Maybe 2022.
I think 3 years.
I think 2022. Yeah. And then we got in 2023 and then we used the money and then we ran out of money September 2024.
And then Google stepped in at that time?
No.
Okay.
Google still didn't step in. We are waiting them to step in.
Okay. Who's like the major funding partner you have?
Google.
Okay.
But for the previous 2 education seasons, they have sponsored.
Okay.
So 22, 23, 23, 24, we got sponsored by Google. 24, 25, we still don't have a sponsor.
Thank you for that. That's really very kind of you. It's very admiring, actually, inspiring. Okay, so you funded this, and everything else started, and it started growing and everything. When did you make the move to, I guess, start in another campus?
Well, Ipsa reached out to me. Ipsa Abraham, you may know him.
I know him.
He said, Emre, we have great people here at AASTU. We need A2SV at AASTU. I said, okay, please connect me with the school management. He did. We talked, and then we expanded.
Yes. Well, I think he just got accepted to Google.
Yes, he did an internship last year, and now he's going to Google Germany.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Okay, how's your experience in AfroChat?
Well, I wish I had more time there, first off, because I really think that that's a proper university campus.
It is, yeah.
I mean, Addis Ababa University is our first partner, but things are very segregated here. Like Amaskilo campus is not big enough. You are in the middle of the city, like all this, let's say, cars, noise. So this is making it hard to focus. Whereas Addis Ababa Science and Technology University, I would say the same thing for Adama Science and Technology University. The campuses are beautiful. They have very good nature, big space. It's a place to concentrate. And I'm very happy with the operations there. We have great stuff at the school. As I said, I wish I had more time there. It's just my home is here. It's not walking distance.
That's true. Yeah. There were like a lot of A2SV students back in campus, and it was so cool. Was there any difficult things that happened in AfroChat?
Any difficult things? Well, maybe in the first year when we moved our heads of education from AAIT, so like getting space for those people, but like management was super supportive, especially Dr. Asrat and Dr. Derece. Like Felix, former software engineering department head, those 3 people, they were super helpful. We have a great working relationship. Like I'm very grateful for the staff of Addis Ababa Science and Technology University.
There are a lot of things running inside A2SV, which includes your incubation center. Let's talk about that, because I've been receiving a lot of questions about it. And talk to me, when did it start? Why did you start it? What's the goal in there?
So I would say there are 2 major steps to become an effective software engineer. And I would say also technologist, because software engineering is also dying. So first off, you need to have the skills to pass the interviews, right? Data structures, algorithms, problem solving, communication skills, personal development is going to help in that journey. This is like opening the door. But actually another journey starts after you open the door. So for people, an easier analogy to understand is that when you're in high school, you dream of getting accepted by a great university. And when you do that, you feel like, okay, everything is done. Now I am the king. But you realized after maybe a few weeks that that's not the case. Every end is a new beginning. So you really need to step up your game to cope up with these amazing people from all over the country. You are not the only smart person in the room anymore. And if you want to be the smartest, you got to do a lot more than what you have done in the past. So in that regard, our first year education focuses on opening the door. So you get a strong foundation with data structures, algorithms, etc. But effective software engineering and being a technologist is more than that. And one disconnect that we see in the existing education facilities is that they do not have objectives of delivering real impact to the world. The universities are there to educate, but the universities are not there to innovate. And I think this should change, because how do you become a better football player? By playing football. How do you become a better software engineer? By doing software engineering. So that's why we first initiated the project phase at A2SV Education. So we decided to teach the team how to get an idea from the ground, run some product management on it, business development on it, get some skits tested, and then build the design, and then get specialized in different development teams, execute on it as a team, practice whatever we know as the best practices, utilize whatever free tools are available. So it has started that way. And then we decided to make it more systematic. So at A2SV, we have the Tech Academy, which is training people And with the project phase, also planting the seeds of ideas. And like the students do, ideas also graduate from the tech academy. If they are promising, if the MVP is looking, let's say, high potential, then we get those under our incubator. And then we continue pushing them because majority of the startups are getting out of business not because they are trying to do they are not trying to do something impactful, but because they don't have enough resources, the founders lose their motivation, etc. So that's why at A2SV, under our incubator, we own these projects. People come, people go, but we want these projects to make real impact to the world.
All right. That's wonderful. So let me guess, is it only A2SV students that get to join the incubation, or is everyone welcome?
Well, like we recently tested the waters for hiring people from outside. We actually hired a few great people, but we also had some bad experiences with other people. So I'll be honest, like in Africa, it's a very, very low trust market. It's not easy to find people that you can trust and do great things together with. Therefore, I'm not sure if we are going to continue getting people from outside in the future hiring seasons. So anybody who wants to join, we suggest them to join our education first, get the education, and then be part of other efforts if you want.
All right. What are some projects that came out of the incubation?
Well, let's go in the alphabetic order because they are all very valuable in my eyes. Adot is trying to help expecting mothers in Ethiopia. So we know that number of doctors is very low. It has to be a lot more, but we are not there yet. And we know that through generative AI and technology, we can help a lot to mitigate the issues. Every year, there are 300,000 people dying from preventable reasons during pregnancy in Africa. So if they were having these pregnancies in other continents, they didn't have to die. So Adot is aiming to change this by creating a technology for the expecting mothers and connecting them digitally with the midwives and gynecologs.
Okay. What about Eskalate?
Oh, we have many projects, so let's continue. We said Adot. Next, AfroChat. So AfroChat is trying to become the generative AI interface for African people and businesses. We know that generative AI is very transformative. And I would say we are not even utilizing 1% of its total potential. Like every day, new tools are coming, but some tools are really mind-blowing. So in that regard, AfroChat aims to bring this to African people with an easy-to-use interface. It also makes premium models available with, let's say, small chunks of credits. Normally, you have to pay like $20 to ChatGPT, $20 to Gemini, etc., which is not super affordable for African people and businesses. So AfroChat offers, let's say, small packages that people can purchase and do things with these premium models. Adot, AfroChat, next, Akil. So Akil is connecting youth with opportunities. So I love Project Akil. We do our hiring at A2SV through Akil as well. So we started with empowering NGOs. It was connecting NGOs with volunteers. And then we have realized that we can actually bring more attention if we allow paid opportunities and private company opportunities to be shown in the platform. So right now, this is already serving over 2,000 people, about 40 organizations, more than 100 opportunities are already connected with youth. And we didn't even do our public launch yet. So the greater impact is about to come. Let's continue. Number 4, rate it. No, we can actually add Eskalate in between. So Eskalate is where A2SV talent meets opportunities from all over the world. So we try to make it the best offshore IT outsourcing in terms of talent as well as project platform. Because unlike other talent matching platforms, at Eskalate, all the developers have gone through A2SV education. We don't say that, hey, we found this great person, now start working with them. We know him for 2 hours, but he's amazing. No, everybody that we are promoting at Eskalate, they have gone through A2SV education, over 1,000 hours. We believe in their character. We believe in their talent.
Wonderful.
So next, rate it. Well, in Africa, trying to find the right food to eat is not an easy task. There are many great places, but not every place has everything great. This is not just Africa. I mean, every restaurant, they specialize on some Food, like a few great foods are the best, but if you go to some other items in the menu, you may not enjoy them that much. So Rate It allows people to give item-specific feedback. Therefore, we can find where is the best chocolate tips in the city, where is the best tekabi no shiro. So this item-specific feedback thing is going to be a game changer, and I love Project Rate It as well. And last but not least, SkillBridge. So SkillBridge is trying to help high school students with generative AI. We know that scaling effective teachers all over the continent, all over the country is very ambitious and hard. But with the right infrastructure, with the help of generative AI, we can at least provide personalized tutors for everybody. We believe this is very important for the future of the country because we have millions of young high school students which really want to achieve great things, and SkillBridge is going to help them.
So that's really epic. It's a lot of projects, and cheers for that. That's really awesome. I wish you guys luck for that. Is there anything else that's running in A2SV?
Well, yes, like I actually mentioned first generation projects and a few second generation projects. Indeed, third generation projects are about to start. So the teams already started second year education. They are going through their development tracks. And I would say in about a month or a month and a half the most, we are going to start 8 to 12 new projects. So every generation we train more students. As a result, we are capable of planting the seeds for more innovative projects.
Okay, interesting. That's awesome. Okay, while in the topic of A2SV, how did Abrhot happen?
Oh, that's a very, very good one. Well, we were operating in the labs of AAIT, Amaskilo, for the first 3 years. And then we had one camp closing ceremony, actually project phase closing ceremony at Abrhot. This was back in 2022, September. And that was the time that we actually got the funding from Google. And we really liked the space, and we realized that we actually needed an office space because, yes, we had the education efforts in the universities, but that was the time we were also starting with the incubation of these projects. And at that time, Abrhot Library was under AAIT. And then we talked with the management, and we rented this place.
I was actually really mad when I heard that the government wasn't funding you guys. They're still not funding, I guess, right? Yeah, I was really mad because I think you guys deserve it, and there is literally no reason to not do it. Have you reached out?
I mean, I try. Like sometimes I'm shouting from here, hey! I am still not heard. Like whenever I have the opportunity, I say. Like in the past, I had the chance to meet Ministry of Innovation and Technology, Ethiopian Artificial Intelligence Institute head. I had a very short encounter with Dr. Abiy Ahmed, but I still couldn't schedule a meeting even 15 minutes with him. So I asked so many people because I really want 15 minutes from him and to showcase what we have done, why it's very critical for the future of the country. Because if we don't get this support, there are other countries that are ready to provide this support.
Exactly, yeah. Are you planning to start new branches in other universities? Because one of the questions I got is people asking if you could come to Hawassa or other Ethiopian regions.
I mean, there is a huge interest. Like already about 8-9 Ethiopian universities officially reached out to me for that. Their department heads, president offices, etc. But we don't have the funding at the moment. And frankly speaking, after 5 years of service and this impact, when we get the international funding, I am not willing to put that money in Ethiopia unless it is matched by riches or government of Ethiopia. And I believe I have every right to do that. And since September, I have been communicating this. We ran out of money. And our alumni, thanks to them, we get some support. But from the riches of Ethiopia, from the government, we got 0 birr until now. So this is a shame. I hope this is going to change. I am not sure if they really know about the program because I would find it very hard to believe that they understand our impact and they choose not to help. So I still want to think that they don't know about us, what kind of impact we are doing. And hopefully once we get heard, this is going to change.
All right. I guess once you mentioned it, how's A2SV running now? How's everything? How's the whole...
I mean, very difficult, brother. We bleeded a lot since September because we are not able to pay salaries to our staff. we give loans for their basic needs. And even the loan amounts we have to cut. And like we got a generous donation from Jeff Dean that has given us a few months. Now we are about to get a generous donation from Kerim Baguir, the CEO of InstaDeep. He's also one of our supporters, thanks to him. And that is going to keep us alive until the end of April. But we really need these government deals or big tech deals to go through. Like I am sad to see that Ethiopians don't have the habit of giving. Or if they do that, they are doing it somewhere else, but not investing in the future technologies of Ethiopia through A2SV. So this has to change. I did my best. I already put 660K from my pocket, not birr, US dollars, guys. And like the remaining money, since we had to sell early, went out in the stocks market. So I am all in. Like right now, I'm getting, like a person actually got debt from me, which I forgot. He's a great friend of mine. Now he's paying me back. That's how I am paying my credit card bill. I don't think I deserve this. I don't think A2SV deserves this. I hope this is going to be fixed soon.
Yeah, I really hope so, because you're doing incredible stuff for everyone here. There are a lot of success stories out here as well. And I don't know why that's not happening, but I really wish it happened sooner. Okay. Did you start another branch in another African country?
Yes. So we started in Ghana last year. And indeed, we got great results already. So the team didn't even finish their second year education. They are about to start. And we already got 5 offers.
Wow. Whoa. Okay. Do you maybe plan on entirely moving there?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, I love Ethiopian people. I love Ethiopian culture. But if the circumstances push me in that direction, I have to do what I have to do, because we will keep A2SV up and running. And right now we are in the late stage talks with the Rwandan government for moving A2SV operational headquarters to Rwanda. Indeed, in the first week of April, I'm going to be there for the Global Summit on AI, Global Summit in AI on Africa, something like that. And yeah, like we may seal the deal there. But I really hope, in the next 10 days before my 1-month tourist visa expires on March 24th, something is going to happen in Ethiopia, and we will continue having strong presence here as well.
Oh, I really hope so. You've changed a lot of people's lives, and it would be a shame if you guys left. Okay, I'm just getting questions live here, and one of the questions is, what are the standards for a project to be accepted into the incubator?
Well, like we source ideas from everybody at A2SV. We ask our students, we ask our advisors, we ask our alumni. So everybody is capable of contributing with the ideas. And then those ideas are run through the system of the product management, as well as our senior members. And the ones that are looking promising in terms of social impact, or these days, since we have financial challenges in terms of revenue potential, then they get approved, and then teams are assigned to work on these ideas. So it's not like we expect people to come, hey, we are the founders, this is idea, support us. But we want people who want to be part of this big system. And then some people become the team leads, and we want these projects to become standalone companies. So the first generation projects are getting very close to there. And we hope that in the year of 2024, we are going to see first incorporated A2SV project.
Okay. Another question relating to this is, with a person that suggested, I guess, one of the ideas or the project ideas without actually building it, be part of the team that's building it, or?
Yes, so this is one of the perks that we give to people when their ideas are chosen. Like in the past, we were also giving them monetary rewards, but right now we don't have money. Therefore, we allow them to be part of the team. We allow them to engage with different, let's say, squads of A2SV to help that idea become real impact in the continent.
Wonderful. Okay. What's the biggest success story you've seen from A2SV graduates?
Biggest success story I have seen from the A2SV graduates so far? Well, the ones that are helping us to train the next generations of A2SVs here. So for many people, they may look at the display, like people who are taking jobs at big tech, they are the display people. I'm also grateful for them, like they are also serving in a different way. But who I would, rank the first, people who are hustling with us, especially after the challenging times we had to go through since September with no money. Like these are the real heroes in my heart. And when we have more resources, I will definitely reward these people in every way. I'm not going to forget anybody who support us in our tough times.
Beautiful. I've been talking to a lot of people that are currently working, and I thought it was very inspirational for them to keep working. And one of your social media members is here, and yeah, it's admirable. Okay. What is next for A2SV?
Well, first off, we need to solve the funding problem. And we are also taking measures to make our system sustainable for the future generations. Starting from 6th generation, we started signing income share agreements with our students. Like in the past, what I was thinking, people are going to see the impact. They are going to help by heart. And in reality, what I have seen, this happens to maybe 5% of the people, but not more. So what's coming from alumni is, in my opinion, it should be like 10x. It should be maybe 100x more of what is coming. So in that regard, we are now making a system so that the current students are going to pay money for the future generations if they make money. So this is going to make our future sustainable, hopefully.
Wonderful. Okay, I guess let's take a step back and let's talk about other things in life. And I guess one of the biggest things that are happening right now is AI and open source. So AI is advancing pretty quick, and it's hard to assume that the future of programming will continue this way. And I would love to hear from you, because you actually, one of the major classes that you run is data structures and algorithms. And talk to me how that would survive during the age of AI.
Software engineering is dying, guys. So let's be clear about that. Frankly speaking, I wasn't expecting the last mile to be taken this fast, because coding was dying earlier, but now software engineering is dying. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen Manus IM, like this agentic AI, which is capable of using Linux like a software engineer, dividing tasks into smaller pieces, making research through browser, running commands on the terminal, writing code, producing end-to-end working systems with very high quality. So I would say if somebody wants to do things like the old days, they can do that, but I don't think companies are going to be interested in that. So there is a very new powerful weapon available for everybody, and it's almost free. So my recommendation is adapting to the new world. The advantage is now getting things done is a lot faster. So we can build projects in days rather than months, rather than years. So this is a huge advantage for technologists. Therefore, my recommendation for everybody is to become a technologist. Rather than seeking to become only a coder, only a software engineer, we need to understand how technologies can help life in different manners, and then start building those with the help of generative AI. Like, I don't see generative AI as a threat to people, but I see this as a great tool to utilize. So it enables so many people. In the past, it was impossible for a doctor to come up with a software solution for their own problems. But today they can do that. So it's not just making technology available for people who are software engineers, but anybody can start building things. And who are in the best position to build things? The software engineers.
All right. I guess, what would A2SV look like in the age of AI? Have you thought about that maybe?
I mean, we are already in the age of AI, so A2SV is going to look like how it is looking now. But
are the classes going to continue the same way and everything?
Well, I mean, we are obviously updating our curriculum regardless of generative AI. I mean, generative AI is huge and impactful, yes, but it's not the only thing that has come out in the last couple of years. So there are new technologies emerging, and our system is actually looking everything at A2SV as work in progress. So in that regard, we update our curriculum. Like just a few days back, I've delivered generative AI lecture to our interns. We have covered many interesting tools together. So like we already have the idea of we got to choose the right tools for the right task. So it's not like A2SV is teaching programming language X and it'll be like that forever. No.
Wonderful. What AI tools do you use on a daily basis?
Obviously ChatGPT. So like it really helps me. I like Monica IM because it was my vision for AfroChat, frankly speaking. They have a very beautiful interface. So they aggregate different machine learning models, and they make it easy to generate image, make video. So they connect you with whatever tools are available there. Like I am very, very impressed with Manus. So as soon as I get the access code, I am really looking forward to play with that. And like in our different squads, we utilize generative AI in different manners. So there are some tools our social media team is using for video editing or content generation. Like when it comes to generating our communication, like social media posts, emails, proposal content, etc. Like I heavily use it. Like I would say probably I spend decent, like more than an hour every day with generative AI, if not more.
All right. Do you code now? I guess your lifestyle is pretty busy while you run A2SV.
Like very occasionally. I wish I was coding more. I think I've taken enough break that the time to come back is coming soon. But right now, first things first, we need to bring funds to A2SV. And until we secure some decent amount of funding, I will be focusing on funding.
Wonderful. Okay. Since A2SV is big on competitive programming, tell me why anyone should try that. What's the big deal there?
Well, like the most important skill you are learning when you do competitive programming is having optimization mindset. So like look at the world as there are different ways of doing things. And those different ways are going to finish the job with different quality and different efficiency. So when you learn data structures, algorithms, and solve lots of competitive programming problems, you develop an optimization mindset. So you look at things as, okay, how can I do this better? Is there a way to save time? Is there a way to save resources? And I think this is very important to build scalable systems. And the human brain is great at transfer learning. So if you learn optimization in coding, you can do optimization in different aspects of life. Therefore, I still think this is something very valuable. Even if coding is that, you can gain some very important skills by becoming a competitive programmer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Okay, let's talk about open source. And is there any product being built in A2SV that you're planning to open source or already open sourced?
Well, like I have a huge respect for the open source community. At the same time, right now, we need to make money to survive. So in that regard, are we going to make them open source at the moment? Maybe not. Are we going to do that in the future? For sure. Because like especially when it comes to our education methodology, it's publicly available. We don't hide how we do the teaching. Because for us, it's not about the idea, it's all about the execution. And if there are more organizations that are educating people with A2SV methodology, we would just be happy because it means there are effective education happening in other places as well. But from what I see in Africa so far, I don't think other organizations are approaching education problem as we do. We really believe in impact. We really believe in guidance of the teachers, more experienced people. Like when I look at the competitive programs, usually they are more in the direction of, hey, we choose the best students. We give them the best resources. They learn by themselves. Well, if this was producing the best results, I don't think Manchester City was going to pay millions to Guardiola or Real Madrid would pay millions to Carlo Ancelotti. So you need organizers, you need teachers who are going to give motivation, tactics, teach them how to do things in a faster and smarter manner.
Wonderful. That's beautiful. Okay. I think we're fine with the A2SV related questions, and we're nearing the end of our conversation, and let's talk about a bit of personal reflections. And we'll get to question and answers from the community. And I guess, what's a piece of advice that you would give a person wanting to enter programming or maybe even A2SV? And AI is all trending and all that. So assume I'm like just beginning. I haven't, coded anything at all. What would your advice be?
My advice would be joining A2SV community and then getting advantage of the community education resources and becoming an A2SV member. I think our results speak on our behalf. Like we have better results in terms of connecting talent with big tech opportunities than top 4 universities combined in the continent. And we have achieved this in less than 5 years with very little resources. Like all these universities, they have a lot more resources than we do. All the competitive programs, they run these things with 10x, 100x budget than we do. So I'm very proud of our results. My advice is just be an A2SV.
Wonderful. Okay. Is there anything that you regret in life?
Yes. So I wish I didn't trust people, but trusted in the systems from the beginning. So I was hoping that many things are going to happen by the heart of people. But the life actually has taught me very important lessons there. And I definitely trust in systems now.
Okay. I guess once you mentioned it, how can somebody build a good, trustworthy system?
I think you should understand your input and you should understand what output you are looking for. And then you will be able to connect the dots. Like instead of focusing on other factors, getting distracted by the noise, focus on the signal and connect the dots.
Wonderful. Okay. That's about regrets. And let's talk about achievements, something that you're proud of. It could be in relation to A2SV or your own personal achievements, something that makes you happy and something that you think is wonderful. Talk to me about that.
I mean, like with about $4 million, we have trained more than 800 people. And our training is not yet another training program. Oh, you go 3 months, you get a certificate. No, we make a deep impact. Like I have seen firsthand how people's lives changed. In the first generation, people didn't believe that they could take these jobs. Many people who are working at big tech, they actually told this to me later on. So now I don't even have to say that. You can do that. They already know, hey, yeah, I can do that. So I think the mindset shift, which is not easy to make and which doesn't happen without examples, we have already done it. Now, in different parts of this continent, not just in Ethiopia, many young technologists believe that they can change the world. Some through joining big tech, some through building digital products. I am proud of this mindset change.
Wow. That's wonderful. It's inspiring. Okay, we're nearing the end of our conversation. And I guess a bit of an outro would be a general advice, something life has taught you. Anything that you like to tell everyone listening, something inspiring or motivating. This is your time for you to tell them.
Like I believe fidelity is a very important value. So fidelity is feeling grateful for people and systems that have helped you to come to somewhere or achieve something. And unfortunately, I've seen very little fidelity so far. And I advise to everybody to have more fidelity. Don't forget about the people, organizations, systems that have helped you to come to where you are now.
Wonderful. Well, this was such an amazing conversation. You've been open about my questions. You didn't hold back. You were incredible. And it's my honor to be talking to you here. And I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot. And I really wish all the good things in life happen to you and all your companies. Thank you for being on my show. This was wonderful. All right. That's a wrap, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steve. This was lovely.